Hey, welcome back everybody. Now we're going to be going through a super important checklist that you want to go through before you either jump into homeschooling for the first time, or you start your new year homeschooling, or if you're not even homeschooling, you're starting a new school year, you're starting a new year, you're starting a new phase, or you just want to revamp your family life because it's not going the way you want it to go. So this will help you reset, restart, and get on the path that you want to go to create that life that you love. Now, this is our setup checklist to make sure that we go through this before we have a trial run like we talked about in our last video. So the first thing, like we talked about, video number 1, is create that haven. Make sure you have a place you can go that you feel at peace, that you can think, that you can work through things and feel calm. This is your place. Now, hopefully, eventually, you'll be able to work. All this setup is going to help you create your whole house like that. When you walk into your house, you'll just be able to go, oh, I feel wonderful. But in the meantime, or if you're in a stage of life where you have babies and diapers and craziness, just have that one place where you can go to and cleanse it, nurture it, and guard it so it remains that place of safety, calm, and peace for you. Then you're going to have some self-care routine. And the reason, like I told you, that you start out with this is because it is the first thing that goes on the back burner when life gets stressful. And it is the most important thing to make you feel human again, get in touch with yourself again, and to feel happy. So this is super essential, and I want you to start with it and not end with it, and keep it guarded so that you are at your best. Then we have our vision. We work through our vision with those counsels we talked about. We are going to counsel with ourselves, we're going to counsel with our spouse, or whatever other adults are helping us run the home. We're going to counsel with our whole family and each child, so we can create a united vision, but also a personal vision of where we want to go. And it will keep us on that path as we continue to counsel together. Also, if you're homeschooling, this is super important because it will help you figure out what motivates your child and motivates your family, and keep that unity in those relationships strong, as well as helping your kids learn how they learn and be able to stay involved in their learning and more motivated in learning and encouraged in their learning. Then you go through that what's worksheet, and you're going to want to list everything that you need to do. You weed out the stuff that you found out, that's not leading to where we want to go. You add some stuff in that you know is super essential. Then you start delegating. Once you have delegated, you get everybody's lists going, and you create a routine for everyone. This is something you want to counsel together with your family, of course, but also create your own routine. Like I said, make sure that self-care routine is part of that. And make sure any new tasks have some kind of training to go with it, and you are ready to go when you start your trial run. Of course, when you're doing this, you want your family economy set up like we talked about. That will help you create a responsible environment where we are not nagging and asking and reminding, but we know, everybody knows what everybody is supposed to do. They are responsible for it. They are checked up on, and they get a privilege or a consequence or an allowance or something that keeps them going towards becoming more responsible. And then after you have that training plan in place, both for your family economy and for teaching new tasks, if you are going to be homeschooling, this is the time you want to start setting up your school. That means you are going to want to look up any requirements you might need so you can choose your curriculum. And that is why that vision was so important, so you can choose curriculum that your child will be interested in, that will motivate them and stay keeping them on task, and also meet their individual needs, as well as any supplies that goes with that curriculum, or any lessons that you want to do. And then, of course, you're going to want to have your school routines down. That means this is a time that you are going to want to figure out, okay, do we want to all work on math together? Does everyone do whatever individual work they have individually, however they want? Or do we have certain times that everybody works on one thing? Do we have individual work time and group time? These are the times you figure out what routine works best for you. Now, I have some great advice in other videos that I will link that help you work with toddlers, with children, and figuring out what routine works best for you. Also, you're going to want to create designated areas for learning. So either have a homeschool room, or for us, we do it at the dining room table, and we have a designated area where we keep homeschool supplies and homeschool books. And then make sure, of course, that you have that family economy in place that will wrap everything together and keep everyone responsible and on task. Once you have gone through this whole setup checklist, then you are ready to go through and try it out. Now, I always recommend that you try it out for at least a couple of weeks to kind of get into the flow of things. If it is super off, you're going to notice within the first couple of days that, I'm sorry, this is just not going to work. I've had that happen a couple of times. But usually, if you've been thoughtful about it, it is just a matter of working through it and getting into a rhythm of it, finding what works best for you. If this is your first time homeschooling, this is going to be totally unique to your family. And I have found with most first timers that they are super ambitious and super on top of things, and that is wonderful. But also those high expectations can sometimes lead to too much stress. So make sure that you give yourself some grace and make sure that you look at it objectively. We're going to be talking about how to reflect and how to look at these things more objectively in the next upcoming videos so that you will know whether you have picked the right plan and pathway for your family. So we'll see you in the upcoming videos. We'll see you later.